Welcome to the Sense of Soul podcast. We are your hosts, Shanna and Mandy.
Grab your coffee, open your mind, heart, and soul. It's time to awaken.
Today, Sense of Soul is so excited to have our guest, Jasmina Agrillo Scherr. Jasmina is recognized as the Soul Essence Coach, the Wellness Psychic, and the Sacred Heart of Christ Healing Channel. She's also a keynote speaker, and she is a survivor of a life-threatening brain tumor that she used her intuition and mindfulness training for full body healing. Oh, amazing. Hello.
Good morning.
Beautiful name.
Thank you.
Very, very original, and I've never heard it before.
Really? Well, it has its origins are actually Persian, but I'm Sicilian Italian. And apparently in my family tree that they immigrated the Agrillos from Persia centuries ago to Sicily. But it's a spiritual name too as well. So it's comes from the angelic realm. And my spiritual teacher at the age of 30 acknowledged that. And I never told her about my name. She knew it. So
Jasmina, my family is from New Orleans. And
Really?
that's where they originally immigrated to. When I've heard the full story, I just learned it not too long ago doing my ancestry. When they were first invited, their thoughts were, well, we can have these Sicilians come over and they can replace the slaves.
yeah.
And when they got here, they're like, oh, I don't think so.
We have some very soul resilient ancestors. And they are helping us right now.
Yeah.
Their energy field is their information, their love, their soul resilience is helping us get through this right now. Yeah, I
agree. I think a lot of people just assume that the majority of them came way of New York. The biggest group of them actually came way of New Orleans. My mom grew up telling me many stories of the Italian community there, and most of them were from Sicily or Palermo, and the Marcellus family especially, and how really they were the protection of their city. The Italians were really the protection of the people.
Yeah, it's just a great spirit. And
it is.
I have such really powerful intuitives in my Sicilian side, but also on my mom's side, and she's Italian. And the Italians and the Sicilians will say, we are not Italian. We have a different language, different culture. Do not say we are Italian. So I grew up with both sides of the equation. It's so funny.
I love it. That is so funny.
Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today.
Oh, thank you.
Oh my gosh. Your story is amazing.
I really enjoyed to do this, but I want to engage everyone that's listening. If you wouldn't mind to play along with me. We're all about soul connection, and we have so much great love and light of information coming into us, both from our own soul source connection that is unique, but also ancestrally, and all the divine beings that are waiting to work with us and to communicate with us. So I just invite you all just to take a simple heart-focused breath. Breathing in and breathing out. And do a short invocation. Dear my beloved soul source, all those beloved beings, those beloved divine beings, I invite you to be with me now and have your message appropriate for me at this time, for this day, to come to me so that I hear it coming into my heart and translating it through my brain. Let me hear this message very clearly today so that I may take it forward and bless my day with love and greatest light. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow, thank you.
When you were talking, I had this very strong thought about why we named our business and our podcast Sense of Soul.
Yes.
And it really does connect with your purpose, just really truly understanding and connecting with your soul and sensing it, feeling it, using it for discernment through your life, for guidance. and for communication.
Yes. Yes. That has been the challenge of my life. And that's why I'm all about soul. And that's why I inspire others and help them communicate with their soul, because without that, I wouldn't be here today.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
So were you like Shanna and I? We both had to go through a lot of trauma to finally get to a place where we knew it was way overdue in time to get to know ourselves and our souls.
Yes, I've had lots of trauma. That's the way we have to learn, because how would we know? You know?
Yeah.
If we didn't have anything, like if we didn't have any trauma, what's there to forgive? We wouldn't know, to let go, to bring love to communicate with our soul, to receive God. Yeah, I know. I wish it weren't like that, don't you?
I sure do. I wish when I was younger, someone would have explained all of this, and connecting with myself and getting to love and know myself first and to go within. Yeah. But unfortunately, I had to take the hard road.
Well, I posted on my Instagram yesterday this quote, and it says, "My brain speaks total fuckery unless I turn my soul on."
Exactly. Isn't that the thing? It's like we have to ask. That's a virtue. That's called humility.
Yes.
And I think right now, the whole world is on its knees. And humility is coming in because of all the challenges throughout the pandemic. We have to ask, but the soul world is there for us, behind the scenes, so to speak, actually communicating with us to the extent we are open enough to receive. I've always been amazed in my life. Like, you know how sometimes you have a desire for something, or you have a need, and someone comes along and provides that need for you. Say you're looking for a new house to live in, a new place to live in, and you happen to come across someone that has an idea for you, a place for you, an opportunity for you to find a more ideal living space. So this information is vast, and we pick up on other people's needs and information. So we're serving when we're in what I call the soul space, which is to be in a state of gratitude, of appreciation. Then we are broadcasting information, and we are serving. And so other people doing the same in whatever way that they do that. So I'm always amazed how things will come about in my life that I really need and want, and it's time for me to have them, and it just happens that way. Like synchronicity, we call it. But
so do you feel like there is a call out to the light workers of the earth who have this purpose, or who have these gifts, that are able to be guided, the awakened ones?
Yes. Yes, we are called. We are called. We are being tested to be resilient, to stand strong. And it's tough.
Tough. Yeah.
And, as I was getting ready this morning, I'm thinking, okay, what is one of our issues from the soul perspective that we are really being called to be resilient? And what came to me was like, I know there's anxiety. Anxiety is rampant. There's depression. But what came to me was a type of, we are called inertia. And everyone I've discussed this with, we talk about it and say, yeah, I have this pandemic fatigue. It's like I'm moving through fog, and my will, I got to work my will to get beyond this and to do my day and, everything that I want to do and need to do. And so that inertia, I would think of that inertia comes from the anxiety and the fear. And the depression creates a low energy in the body, but we're also, we're being restricted in ways that we have in modern times we have never had to deal with. It's like being under house arrest. So our sense of communities being messed with, we have to go within. We have to bring in these soul resilient frequencies. of strength is to stand strong in our virtue, right? We're being tested right now, and there's a great cleansing going on. And we know everything, it's such upheaval. I mean, I'm from LA. My car got vandalized. We had to fix the window. But then again,
Aw.
I know. And then, but this is synchronicity. Same car, right? This is yesterday. So the mailman comes and he delivers the mail. It's the same wonderful man every day. So he comes up, he delivers the mail, and I'm working. I'm writing in my meditation healing office room. And all of a sudden, he comes back about half an hour later. He comes up the stairs and knocks on the door. And I go to the door and he says, "By the way, I found your credit card right outside the driver's side of your car on the ground." And I said, "Oh, thank you so much. You are so blessed. You are an earth angel." It's like, I thought of that same car, right? Synchronicity.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's been happening here too, actually, that my daughter's friend just had her car broken into. And we live in a very nice suburban neighborhood,
Yes, we do.
Why during times when people are suffering and there's so much pain,
Yes.
Why do people result in such chaos? What can we do? What is our part? What do you feel like your part is right now in this?
To stay strong and resilient in my field of greatest love. To stand strong, what that means is, to do that, I have to be very aware of my thoughts and my emotions, because they will direct things. I have to be aware of, oh, I'm anxious today, and I'm tired today. I talked about inertia. Now, to some extent, we are all experiencing fight or flight major in the world right now. And so this is a collective field. We are influenced by it. And the inertia, to me, this is what can take me, the fatigue is, oh, well, this is despair. Oh, well, I'll just sit here. It's fatigue, and I don't really want to do anything today. I don't have to do anything today. And it is a level of despair. When I had to recover from my brain tumor, a period of really years, one of the major things I had to deal with was I was sometimes dizzy, like had some vertigo, and I did have a level of fatigue. And I had to learn to manage fatigue with compassion for myself and go about my day. So maybe I'm going about my day. Maybe I need a break today. Okay, I'm going to sit in my chair for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I'm going to breathe. Or I'm going to go take a walk. I'm going to read some inspiring spiritual literature, reading. Could be anything, some sacred reading that makes me feel good. And I learned to appreciate that and work with it. I got a lot done. It was amazing what I got done, even though I was tired. So I had to learn not to judge it, but manage it in a way that would make it appropriate to accomplish my goals in my life. It was a great lesson for me, and it still is. Because much of the trauma, I've had a lot of things coming through my physical body. I had to accomplish things with my physical body not being maybe what someone who's more athletic, has great physical health. And still I had to carry on. Do you know?
Yeah, I like that. So you had to manage it.
I had to manage it.
I love that. Yeah, I like that.
You had to shift from that mind frame to say,
yes.
No, I am going to control this. It's not going to control me.
Oh, okay. Yes. Okay. So let's expand on that.
Okay.
Okay. When you say my eye became connected to my soul source of greatest love and light. So it became, I'm communicating with, or you want to call it my higher self or God, whatever word it's appropriate for you, beyond me. I'm connected to this universe of light, and I would have to surrender that. So it wasn't my little I, but that I was sustaining me. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. You have an energetic template, so to speak, of all of our potential. And even there's a template of you that is completely whole. even if you lose like an arm or a leg, you still have an arm and a leg. You still have the template there for the arm and leg. It opened my intuition, the surgery did. And I knew intuitively, because we have this connection, that for me to really heal, I needed to connect with that part of me that holds my highest potential. And that is, our informational field, our soul, however, our essence, I had to bring that in. And the way to bring it, a really simple way, is through appreciation. I have a background with the Institute of HeartMath. They help me a lot because they focus on the heart and transforming stress in particular. But we all have this connection. So my heart was the whole field of my heart connecting with the information in my soul became very open because of the surgery. I mean, my brain function was down, but my soul essence was not. And that's what I was drawing upon to heal everything connected with that surgery. It was all aspects of me, emotionally, mentally, and my physical body. But the bottom line of all the spiritual frequencies is appreciation is the simplest. It has a frequency that's composed of, it's a very basic level of gratitude, admiration, when you admire something, admiration, and then awe. Now, awe is a really powerful miracle frequency. When you combine them all together, we have access to miracle potential that's extraordinary that we can connect with.
So attitude,
yeah,
gratefulness, and awe.
Yes, and breath. So the physiology needs to be involved. So when you connect your breath with that frequency, and the particular heart focus helps because the heart, this is all science now too. This is really exciting. That the heart, when we feel a spiritual frequency, like say, just simple gratitude, we'll just focus on that the message is coming in from the field, the quantum field, into the heart. Then the heart's telling the brain and through the autonomic nervous system, this is feel good. This is health. This is wholeness, this is peace and harmony. And so the whole physiology responds. And once I was on to that was really my task throughout acute recovery, is to develop my awareness. And I still have to develop my awareness. I'm never done. I mean, we're all challenged to do that. But to catch it, this is a great tool where you can say, what's my pitch right now? Take a stop and whatever you're doing, say, what's my pitch? Meaning, what's my frequency? I was kind of like worried today about how are we going to pay that utility bill? I'm a little bit behind. How am I going to do that? And there's a certain worry connected to the thought, and it's in your body too. So you eavesdrop, you develop awareness of what your thoughts and emotions are. And then you simply can take a breath and say, thank you. Thank you for my house. Thank you. I just paid the bill last month. However, all the blessings you're giving to me that I'm receiving in my life. So the gratitude is really bottom line. That's like the easiest. The most difficult one is forgiveness.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We're carrying around, shame and guilt.
Yeah.
Aren't even conscious to that.
Kind of sneaky underneath, the shame and the guilt. And even the slightest tinge of a judgmental thought creates havoc on in the nervous system. Because I use technology too. HeartMath develops some technology to bring harmony to the heart's rhythms. But it also shows you what your thoughts and emotions, it creates a really jagged heart, beat-to-beat changes in your heart. And it can basically, your immune system plummets for hours after even just one single negative thought. It's not to discourage us, but what it tells me is we have the power to change that. That is amazing. So we can heal the planet. I mean, we can heal water with our positive emotions.
So you use an actual technology that proves that your thought will actually higher or lower your heart rate?
Yes.
What kind
yes.
Okay.
It's called the M-Wave. So it's a handheld device, the M-Wave, but you also can have it on your phone now, Android, Mac. It's called the Inner Balance, and it really does train you. And so I will use that with my clients, not all of them, but it's amazing because it truly helps give you focus. And even children do really well with it. I had a 9-year-old girl. Oh gosh, this is well over a decade. And she had anxiety. And I trained her to really flip the switch on that, to really bring balance and harmony and peace to her heart, through the simple steps I mentioned of breath and a change of attitude. And her anxiety, a lot of it came from she was seeing what was happening in the world. It was very sad for her and gave her anxiety. So she would take her M-Wave device and to bed with her stuffed animals, and she would send love to Honduras. That was her thing at the time that she was very concerned with, and so it empowered her. So yeah, the technology helps, but still, when I was recovering from my surgery, the brain tumor, I didn't have the technology. I couldn't afford it until I went out and trained with HeartMath. But I did it without the technology because it's so innate.
My dad died of heart disease, but he passed because he needed a new heart, and he didn't have time.
Yes.
He was on the heart transplant list and all that. Yeah. But he had issues with his heart from a very young age. His first quadruple bypass was when he was 50. But he was, and Mandy can tell you, he just had an amazing amount of anxiety. Yeah. He was constantly working, constantly worried. And I was really following on his path until I awakened with awareness and learned how to breathe and have gratitude, all of the things that you said. But it really, truly is a killer. If you cannot get a hold and bring awareness to your anxiety and stress. And I was just like that little 9-year-old little girl.
Yeah.
It's very scary.
Yes. And we really right now are just called to be resilient in the frequencies of compassion, gratitude, appreciation, letting go, being able to forgive. I know that's quite a process, but to be humble and kind and listen, to connect with our soul. Really important.
Just being still. You do a lot of meditation. I went to your Facebook and I had listened to one, and thank you very much. I love your Facebook.
Oh, thank you.
Your voice is very soothing and comforting and very healing. You're such a great teacher too. It's an honor to have you.
Thank you. Thank you.
How did you come to a place in your life where you wanted to teach others and share?
I was very shy as a girl. I always had an intuitive connection to the spiritual realm, but I was afraid of the way I saw adults being. So I was often in fear, and I was very quiet. And I think when I was in school, I think I had a few teachers that thought I was, I don't know how you want to say it, maybe autistic or something. They didn't use that word. But what happened to me was that I've had a really key people, what I call my earth angels, come into my life and help me. I do want to talk about this because there are many listeners who do communicate directly with the angelic realm and those beings, call them the holy beings. I did have an experience as a young woman. I was 19 years old, living in Maine. This was decades ago, so I was living hard life, depressed from my own connection. I had some substance abuse issues. And anyway, I wake up at 5 a.m. in the dawn, this beautiful light's coming in my room, and I'm looking into the eyes of this extraordinary being. And this being was full of such light. He had like rainbow light coming out of his eyes. I had no fear. This was just love. And he communicated to me. This is really interesting because we all carry frequencies that are nonverbal. But these frequencies they're creation frequencies that we hold, and we can communicate in what we could call soul light language. Now, at 19 years old, I had never encountered soul light language. This being is speaking to me. I can hear him in my heart. And it sounds like gibberish to me. I didn't know what he was saying. And all of a sudden, he switched to English. Ooh. And then I understood. It was really quite amazing. And he said, well, I'm here for you. You call upon me. And I want you to change your life. I want you to start living well. And so he's talking to me, and he's transmitting these lights out of his eyes. And all of a sudden I'm looking at him, and he's disappearing. So he stayed there for a period of time, and he disappeared. It affected my life for years. And I went around telling people back then, and they had this glazed look in their eye. And I thought, well, okay, all right. Maybe I need to just shut up. Just don't talk about this. I started getting into energy healing, changing my diet. The substance abuse issues, it took quite a while. It took like a decade for me to really deal with them. But I did. Mm-hmm. So that's another way. It's not what we normally would experience. We receive soul communication in many ways. My
story is kind of the same.
Really? Tell me.
I was actually in a rehab for alcohol abuse.
Yes.
And I'll never forget my roommate was asleep, and this being came into my room as well, onto like the window, and the face was as clear as day.
Yes.
And the love, I was trembling, and the tears were just coming out, but it was like pure joy. Like I knew I was going to change, and that everything was going to be okay. It was just this love that I've never, ever felt before.
Yes.
And I ran out of the room and went down to this gentleman who had given me his Walkman to listen to some music. And when I had the music on that's when it happened. And I knocked on his door, and he opened it, and he said, I already know. And the crazy thing, I never saw him again. Like, I think he was an angel as well.
Yeah. Because they can dematerialize their bodies at will. So we don't always know.
Mm-hmm.
But we are heard. I think I needed some kind of shock treatment like that to change, because the direction I was going down and it was not good. And not with me, with all my sensitivities, my physical body. And so, that love, it was just, it leaves behind this, it's just amazing, extraordinary love.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I felt the same way. I was so excited about it. I wanted to tell everyone. And then I realized I was getting a couple, people would take a few steps back, oh.
Yeah.
I had to learn, just like myself, sometimes you're ready to receive and sometimes you're not.
Yeah.
And now Mandy would be like, hey girl, let me just tell you about this one.
I know, we just... our soul threads, of communication run through our life. We just miss them sometimes because we're all stuck in our heads.
Busy.
Too busy.
So what do you think the soul is? How would you describe the soul?
The sum essence of the greatest love and light that we are. And we're all unique in how we do that, how we express that. But that originally, yes, we are part of this divine light, this great field of light. We're born out of that, and we separated from it as individual souls. I mean, if I could say, that's composed of our soul essence that holds these greatest fields of love and light. Yes.
How do you help people with their soul communication? Is that what you do? So you actually, you help your clients connect to their soul? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, that is part of it. Yes, but I'm also a soul communicator myself.
So explain that.
Okay. I am trained and certified. It's like anything, you have a gift, you want to train in it, you want to extend it. And so I am a Tao certified soul communicator. My accuracy is 90% and above, which is very high.
Amazing.
However, no human being will ever be beyond 98%. Even Edgar Cayce was not. Because we are human, we'll never be perfect. Someone wants a session for me, it could be for anything. It could be a relationship issue, physical body, it could be emotional, mental, I want a new job, it could be abundance issues, finances, whatever it is. I would communicate with the soul of my client. I call in the greatest fields of love and light, and I will give a message, a guided message that's coming through, that's channeled through me, that is particular to my client and what they need to move forward with. I also invite my client with a simple technique to open to their soul communication field. There is a soul axis channel runs up the center of the body that communicates directly with this greatest love and light field. So to the extent that you're able to open to it, I invite that for my client, so they actually experience to some degree their own soul connection. And it's very profound. I also use the light frequencies. I do what's called the Cosmic Christ Sacred Heart, but I call upon this field of Christ consciousness to come in and heal. Whatever it is, whether it's anxiety or depression, I can focus on the physical body to help heal a relationship, whatever that might be. So I'm basically doing soul communication readings, and I can combine healing that goes with that. And also I have some folks that come to me that want like a soul essence life coaching. And I use the HeartMath workbooks with that too. That helps really support the growth of soul intelligence, what they call heart intelligence. So that's more of a long-term, like a step-by-step. They want to become very proficient themselves in their own soul communication. Either way, I can combine them in a session. I do have something really wonderful though for everyone right now. Is I have a special soul session promotion that my clients can experience. Just go on my site, healthysoulhappylife.com. On the navigation bar, just click on session, and that will show you more in depth about those sessions that I offer. But you have really special promotion and a rate to experience a session. That's really one way to start and to get a sense of how powerful you are and what you can receive from your soul. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for offering that. I can't wait to actually take advantage of that myself.
Oh, wonderful.
So thank you for offering that.
Yeah.
When you had your brain tumor and
Yes.
they removed it, you said that it opened your intuition. Did you have gifts and abilities before that?
Yes, it opened them more so.
And then I was thinking of something. You said that it depleted your physical, but your soul essence was still very, very strong and at a high frequency.
Yes.
I started thinking about a lot of people that are diagnosed with autism or certain things.
Yes.
It seems like a lot of times they have these challenges, but their soul essence is just on this crazy high, amazing vibration.
Yeah, I'm getting a big communication on that. My whole body just like, I have the goosebumps all over my hairs are standing up on it. Like,
Yeah. So this is something that I connected to a year or so ago. I have a son who is autistic, and then I have an older son who works with special needs kids.
Yes.
And he was coaching a basketball league for kids with special needs.
Yes.
And when I would go into the basketball gym, I would feel like you just described. My energy would just go bananas. And I realized, because I was around these amazing souls,
Yes.
they are the closest thing to angels. They have very little ego.
That's right.
If any, and they are almost the closest thing to God you could possibly get to.
Yes.
And here they are, just an abundance of love. That's why they're so sensitive, because they're empaths. They're like the rawness, like an angel on earth. They are.
Yes. Yes. I'm just getting so fried while you were talking. Like, I said, yes.
Isn't it amazing? But it's every time I'm around them, my whole body reacts.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, Shanna had called me crying, and she was like, I just experienced the most beautiful thing I have ever seen. She goes, and I felt it in my body. She's like, the amount of love that was in this gymnasium and the energy that was in there was like nothing I ever felt. And I think what Shanna probably experienced is kind of what you and I experienced with the angelic being, like almost the same exact thing.
Yeah. Yes. I just, Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why I always feel that if people would be more kinder and
Yes.
be more open to getting to know one of these special souls, that it could change their lives. I've seen it change my older son, all of my children's lives, having a child with a disability. It's changed all of us in many ways.
Yes, it's like we learn to love. They're teaching us love.
Pure love.
Pure love beyond ego. And
Yeah.
we're all being fried on the planet right now about those issues.
Funny, because the things that we're trying to lessen about ourselves.
Yes, yeah. They're here to help us. We don't know that. We think we're
They're
helping
here
them.
to, yes, they're here to teach us.
Yeah, the soul virtues are almost exact opposite of what is admired in our culture.
Thank you. Yes. So
Yeah.
true. They don't see color. They don't see class. They don't see political views.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, they don't give a crap about that. My son could give a shit less of what his hair or his clothes or shoes look like. Well, he does care about WWE. I will have to say that. But just, you know, that simple mind that we're trying to get to, because we are just so busy. We have so much clusterfuck in our brains.
Yeah, that's the soul intelligence.
So here you and Mandy, see, Mandy had a near-death experience, and you had the trauma. So here you guys actually got to that point where your egos were not important during your recovery whatsoever.
Oh, they were not important, is right. I had this experience, like I was often out of my body in acute recovery because it was so painful. I mean, this brain tumor was huge. And so I'd be out of my body in this vast space of, all I could say, the cosmos, and hearing divine sounds. And all I could think of was, oh my gosh, I'm part of every space. I'm part of that. And my body was like this little piece of paper compared to my consciousness. And I was very aware of that because I wanted to live. And it was pretty, I mean, what I had was huge. And I remember writing in my diary, still in acute recovery, maybe month number 2, say, okay. I'm mostly bedridden, but I could get up, and I had to learn how to walk, but I would spend a little bit of time getting up and walking a little bit. But I wrote in my diary, I know I'm going to become normal, but I don't want to become what I once was.
Wow.
And I think about that, and it's there in my diary. And sometimes I'm so well that I have to, it's a checkpoint for me to kind of smarten up to, oh, I've identified too much with material existence and stress, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like a correction point for me, but yeah.
You know, my recovery was a turning point for me as well, because I was forced, and I'm so grateful for it, but I was forced to slow down. I couldn't lift my arms.
Yes.
I couldn't grab something. I had to connect my mind, body, and soul in order to do the smallest task of even taking one step.
Yep. Yes.
And I was mindful for the first time almost ever. Then plus you add in the near-death experience of me also, I believe my soul left and I was in this other realm. I knew I was never going to be normal again.
Yes. Yes.
I had just seen and experienced way too much. And then you add all of that together, and it's funny because what took me down was asthma. And when I had a respiratory therapist come into my home, she said, you talk so fast, you forget to breathe. And I thought to myself, my whole life, I've had asthma since I was 2 years old.
Yes.
And no one ever taught me to breathe. Instead, they gave me inhalers and medicine and all of this stuff and said, this is what will make you breathe. But I never stopped and just learned to breathe. Life-changing.
You had to learn by default then.
Yeah, because I'm
like
stubborn.
Me.
I'm a stubborn-ass Taurus. And
I'm Taurus too. I'm a stubborn Taurus.
We all 3 Tauruses.
Oh my God, that is amazing. Well, our task is to bring heaven to earth.
Okay, yeah, we are.
That's what we do.
Friend. Yeah, that's right. In a stubborn way. However we get there. I want to ask you. So you end up writing a book about your journey, how you came to have soul communication. You wrote 2 books, actually.
Yes, the first one, the second one, I'm not, I still have quite a bit more to write on. The first one, though, I get reports that my readers are experiencing their own soul connection through the reading of my memoir, and that they're experiencing healing. This is what I get. And that book is Mirror of My Soul, Sanctum of My Heart. It's on my website, Healthy Soul, Happy Life. And there's an excerpt from there, because they do go into, we are affected by our ancestors' karma, so to speak. Yeah. And we carry that, and we are to transform that too, but they help us. They also help us. So it really goes into the soul connection, and it's a short, it's not a long read. They're vignettes, and when you read them, they reflect back to your soul. And that's, and I wrote the book to heal, for my own healing, but just to also help others and sharing that. So I'm very happy about that people can experience there.
You should be very proud. I was reading all the reviews on it, and you're right. You've helped so many people through sharing your experience. You should be very proud of yourself.
There's 2 stories that stand out to me, and these folks did not write a review, but can I share them?
Yeah, please.
See, the first one was a young woman in her 20s. I think she's maybe 27 years old, and she had stage 4 breast cancer. She bought my book through a colleague of mine, and it was at night, and she was reading a part of it, and she said that she saw an angel. She had an experience of communicating with an angelic being that she said was, the book inspired her in her healing with that, and it really changed her life, and that's what her story. The other one is a woman. She's older. She was in hospice, and her daughter contacted me. She was reading the book to her from her bedside, and she said it helped her mom cross over with faith in her soul connection. Yeah, she helped her cross over.
Sounds like your book is alive. It's living. It's working spiritually. I love this.
It's almost like a channel for people.
Well, I thank my grandfather, my ancestor, the Sicilian grandfather, because he encouraged me to write when I was 10 years old. His voice helped me write it as an adult. I mean, I published it in 2014. Yeah.
Wow. I went through an ancestral journey over the past 3 years. I'm kind of coming out of it. I have healed.
Yes.
Present and future.
Yes.
It was the most powerful healing I've ever gone through.
You would be blown away. She was being so guided by her ancestors that at one point she was reading French, and she didn't even know how.
Oh, so you were a gift of tongues. I mean, you were soul communicating. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean,
they wouldn't leave me alone. They actually,
of course.
After I would heal one line, then the next line was almost like waiting in line. They'd be like, okay, it's my turn. Scoot out, All right,
yes.
You got figured out the French, the Canadians, and the Cajuns. Now it's my turn. I want you to learn about the French Creoles. And it just was like one lineage after another was waiting for me to acknowledge who they were, where they came from, why it led to a generation of forgotten people, many generations.
Yes.
But yeah, it was beautiful. So I love that is part of what you have received as soul healing, because
that's soul healing.
Yes, it is definitely a huge part of who we are, and we forget, especially in America. Nobody honors their ancestors anymore. They don't even know who they are.
Well, it's interesting because there was one big family secret, and in the book I start my first chapter off with that in my book. Sometimes when we immigrate to America, it's because of some trauma. And so that's what I start off, but it was a family secret. My Sicilian grandfather, before he died, told me this. No one knew his blood mother's first name. Nobody. Yeah.
And I think that everybody probably has that in their family.
Yeah.
And, when you go back and you see what trauma or what pain was carried for that to happen, and if just by acknowledging it and saying, you know what, thank you for having to go through those things, because if any one little thing changed, I wouldn't even exist.
That's true. Yeah.
There's a purpose, and everything that happened prior is part of that, unfortunately, good or bad.
Yes. And we could help them clear what they need to be clear here on the earth. That's quite a task.
It is.
Yeah.
Systemic racism and,
yes,
this being in ancestral lines. And I can very much, and I'm sure you can too, I can sense the heaviness of the energy. I know that we'll have to get through fire to get out of it. But
we are. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, we are holding it. We are. This is a transition too.
Gosh,
Well, it has been
much.
such a pleasure. Yeah. One more time, could you please tell our listeners where they can find you? And I know you have a lot of social media, but if you could just plug them in real fast, that'd be great.
Okay. My Facebook page is Jasmina Agrillo Scherr. You can reach me that way. Also, my website is healthysoulhappylife.com. You can go to my sessions page on the navigation bar. Just click on sessions. And also on the homepage, I have a free giveaway about the 7 ways your soul communicates with you. And you might enjoy that too. You can leave your email with that free giveaway. And then I'll have you on my list. And when I have promotions and so forth and events, I can invite you.
Awesome. Well, your last name couldn't be more fitting.
Oh, Scherr. Yeah.
Scherr. In Louisiana, a lot of people say, oh, Scherr. Like, I think it means that little petite or small baby.
Oh.
In French.
Oh, that's sweet. How about maybe Scherr, like soul baby? Oh, soul baby. Like that.
Totally. Yes. Love it.
Yeah, I'm a real soul baby. I'm a soul baby.
Again, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us.
Yes.
And I would absolutely love to connect again. I could talk to you for hours. Thank you for blessing us with your time and energy today.
Oh, thank you so much. It's been a blessing for me too. So I feel really, really psyched now. I go forward in the day.
Yes, me too.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for being with us today. We hope you will come back next week. If you like what you hear, don't forget to rate, like, and subscribe.
Thank you. We rise to lift you up.
Thanks for listening.